momentarily, I will be joined by the wonderful and amazing Jewels Avelar of Jewel Loom. She is quite the pioneer, if I do say so myself, has invented a stellar product known as the Jewel Loom. And this loom is used for various applications of weaving. It could include anywhere from fiber art to making jewelry to making wall hanging pieces. Just about anything you can weave and conceptualize, like it can be done on this loom, right? And her talent hasn't been, it hasn't stopped there. She's invented an entire line of other looms out there that can additionally be used for all sorts of crafting. You can visit her website at jewelloom.com, and she'll be joining me momentarily. We are having a little bit of a technology stuff happening here in the back end, but that's okay. You know, it's a digital world, a virtual world that we live in, and we're just gonna go with it. I am going to turn on to my Facebook, and that way I can see some of the comments that are coming in. This will be a live video, even though it is recorded to my YouTube channel. And if you're not familiar with my YouTube channel, you can check it out. Go to youtube.com, search for SilverSilk and more. And there you will find an entire gigantic library of some amazing SilverSilk videos and all of the different products that I've used and the different ways that you can use them with beads, with wire, with craft wire, with just about all kinds of different types of jewelry making stuff. It's a great repository, great library of inspiration. All right, I see myself on YouTube, so I'm just gonna pop over there, get my notifications and stuff turned on so that I can see all the comments that are coming in. We've got Miss Joan Dice here and Teresa. Hi, ladies. I believe Jules just joined us. So let me see if I can pop her in real quick. Hey, Jules. Can you hear me okay?
Okay.
I don't know if your audio is on, so I'll give it a second here to see if you can tweak your audio to be able to talk for us. If not, I'll just keep gabbing. Who else do we have? We have Tamara here and Miss Cara. Julie is here. Hi, Julie. Miss Mimi Pitts from Jupiter, Florida. Always lovely to see you, my friend. We got Vicky Finn and Marianne Doy. And Debbie Rogers is always here, the talented and beautiful Debbie Rogers. Lovely to see you folks out there. So great you could join in. Brooke says hello from Detroit. And Joan says she heard Jules right away. So yeah, I can't hear Jules. But I guess if you guys can hear her on the back end, then we might be all right. It could be my earpieces for all I know. Okay, so let's do this while we're live. I'm going to turn it over to Jules, and she's going to give you a quick intro, and I'm going to see if I can fix a couple things on the back end here. And Jules, why don't you take it away?
Okay, I'm going to try to adjust this really quick. Okay, wait, I can't. Oh my gosh, seriously, how crazy is this technology? So hi everyone, I'm trying to get into the camera here and it's not working very well, but I'm super stoked. Months ago when Nealay and I talked about I hear you all.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get adjusted on Facebook, and of course, I feel like the virtual world is like purposely sabotaging those people that need to be on live cam.
Let me push this up because I'm going to break my neck.
Okay. Oh no. Can you hear me now, Jules?
I've always been able to hear you.
Oh, you have? Okay, I think my earbuds were acting kind of crazy. They were acting shady.
There we go. Oh, jeez.
Jules! Okay. I didn't wear any green today because I forgot it was St. Patrick's Day earlier today.
Yeah, it's kind of army green. It's like a,
You're going to have to come over and pinch me.
Yeah.
In fact, those of you out there that are watching in the virtual world, send me some digital pinches.
Yeah. Oh, is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm totally making it a thing. Anyways, I interrupted your intro, so you go right ahead, honey.
Oh gosh, yeah. No worries. Yeah, and it's just so funny. Technology is what it is, right? It's just feels like a win-lose situation. Sometimes it's awesome and sometimes it's not. So, anyway, months ago when you said let's plan this, I was like, yeah, I'm so excited, blah blah blah, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to birth something. Um and after we used the fiber loom that last time, it dawned on me, it was like, well, wait a minute, SilverSilk needs its own loom that's more accustomed to what people would be doing on that, because the fiber loom was, originally intended for um, fibers, and not that, this cannot be considered a fiber, but yarns and things like that, and it's wider, and so I thought, well, it'd be super cool to make one that is half the size, more sturdy, and perfect for the chain. And that's what we've got, and I am telling you, it is, just a powerhouse. It is so incredibly sturdy. I'm so pleased with the way that it turned out. I love your beautiful logo. It's so classy. And it's just been a lot of fun. And in fact, a couple people already got their loom. I am in shock. A
That
couple,
was a
yeah.
fast production turnaround because even you were telling me of like, make sure to
No,
tell them it's gonna take a week or two to like get it produced.
I know. Kara just posted that she got hers. Joan just posted that she got hers. And I was
Oh,
like,
fantastic.
okay, you guys in Missouri are like the bomb. So, yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. And everyone, yeah, it's really fun to like watch people receive their looms and then post about it. But I just finished this cool bracelet, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit more, I don't know if I would call it masculine, but a little bit, has the black, and then I used the sword. I don't know, it's kind of
I
hard to
was
tell.
curious about the sword because
Is
I
that
saw it
fun?
in some pictures that you
Yeah,
gave to me, and I was just like,
yeah.
what is this for? So that is
It's
pretty
yeah, it's
awesome.
diff yeah, it's your warrior, sword, your wisdom warrior sword. So on the wisdom warriors, she has a sword because she's like, she ain't messing around anymore.
Oh, hell no. Get out of her way.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying she's me, but she could be.
Gotta be modeled after someone, right?
Right, right. But yeah, so it's super, super easy. And when I originally started playing around with the idea of this second kind of phase, right, with this new loom, I had showed you where I actually took some chain that I'm not 100% sure that you're still carrying, right? The purple one that I used, or maybe it was just the color. Because you remember, but anyway, it
Oh,
doesn't
oh,
matter.
oh,
It's
oh, it
irrelevant.
was the
But
very okay, so the micro mesh, which is what I had a lot of that stuff before, but could never find a use for it, and I think at that time we've been
yeah,
talking for a while,
I know.
and then I think this like, we birthed a thing together, but,
I know.
but yeah, I this was, like, old inventory that was never gonna
Yeah.
ever see the light of day again after, trying to just kind of mail it out to people, and yeah, I couldn't find a use for it, and then I think you had developed a use for it, and then by
Yeah.
the time I had, like, phased it out, it was already
Yeah.
a done deal.
I know. I know. So it was so funny because you were like, yeah. I was like,
I'm
that's okay.
sorry. I
No,
feel
no,
like the
gosh.
the thing that you came up with is more of an evergreen solution, though. Like, we
Yeah,
can use this loom until the end of time to be able to craft
absolutely.
on, and, I think
Absolutely.
it works well with the different SilverSilk chains, the other ones that I've got, in fact, much
Well,
better.
and the only reason I bring that up is because, the original, when I was playing around and I was creating multiple warps. So, with this style, we're just doing two, right?
Mhm.
But when I did that, it was because I wanted to see, well, can I do one of my traditional three across beads, cuff? And so anyway, what happened, and the reason why I'm trying to find my words and get all this out, technology and my words are just not my friend today. Um, Rosalinda, our
Mhm.
Rosalinda just
Yes.
posted today, and I was like, I swear it's the quiet ones. She just She comes out of nowhere and she slays it. And I'm like,
She's fierce. Yeah. Yeah, she really
I'm,
knocked it out of the park.
I
She
know.
posted it on the SilverSilk group, and I was
Yes.
immediately able to see it. So
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to take basically what I had done and what Rosalinda birthed and hopefully make sense of it all. But so yeah, anyway, but
amazing.
this is the loom, and it's so wonderful, and you can work on the top and you can work it all the way to the back, which I had wanted to before I
Ooh.
got all screwed up with this technology. So what do we have? We have 8 1/4, and then if we wrapped all the way to the back, we've got 19 1/2. Just keeping in mind that we always refer to this
Oh.
as the space in between.
Mhm.
So, you could do some like sorry ribbon weaving. You could do something really cool with that particular space. But 19 1/2 is going to give you a good wrap.
Yeah,
So, depending on your wrist size, it could be a 2 wrap, it could be a 3 wrap. So, we'll have to play with that. But the cool thing is
a
that
good
you can
idea.
use both the front and the back of the loom. And let me just once again do that. Yeah, so 2 1/4 wide, which is quite substantial if you're going to make something that wide. I mean, that's pretty stinking cool. But so it's a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse of a loom. It's super sturdy. One thing I do want to just say, you'll get care instructions in your box, and so follow those. So, we talk about how you can use the beeswax and you could cover your loom just to protect it. I would stay away from any water-based products, because this has been cured together, and you don't want anything that would make it come apart.
Yeah.
That would not be cool. So, but you can stain it, you can paint it, you can use your colored pencils, if you
Mm.
so choose. I mean,
Mhm.
this is a very sophisticated look. It's not like with the sun goddesses and the weaving warriors where they kind of lend themselves to being colored in, but I could definitely see somebody staining this. That would be really sweet.
I
You
think
could
I
put like a really
might
cool,
dabble in the staining myself because
yeah,
it definitely is more like it could become an art piece almost, just depending on how you want to customize it, and then it becomes
100%.
functional because you could actually weave
Yeah.
with it. So I do
Yes,
love that.
and I'm gonna get to that. I just also want one more thing that I wanna talk about is that, um, just keep in mind, it's like when we do wire wrapping on the other looms, on the wood looms, we're real careful, because you're marrying 2 kind
Mm.
of opposites, right? You've got the wood and then you have the chain, or the wood and the wire. And so you just want to be aware of that, right? So don't go shoving that chain into the groove. You just want to be conscious of, you know, how you are connecting the two. So,
It's true. One thing I did
safety
notice,
tip.
which we'll definitely get into the weeds here in a second, and you can
Yeah.
show us how this application works, this tool works. But one thing that you just mentioned, which is a huge tip and note, is that because the chain is essentially a metal piece, we don't want to, over cause the over abrasion that could happen whenever you use the little notches and stuff. And
Yeah.
that because if you're pushing the wire in and out constantly, it starts to almost file away at the wood. So
Yeah.
I say just handle and
With care.
wrap gently, I guess.
Oh.
But,
Sounds
I
like the
think once
title
you
of a
start to sort
video.
of see how it's working together, it's easy to
Yeah.
say, like, "Here's a part where you might want to not, go so deep into the notches and stuff with your wire."
Yeah, and you don't even really need to with the chain, and that's why that one evening over a year ago now, maybe I guess it's been, where I just for giggles, like, I didn't know. I did not produce the fiber loom with any knowledge that the silver silk would work, and it was completely by accident. And I remember just thinking to myself, oh my god. you know and you're like, you're in a time zone that's ahead of me, so I couldn't even like be like, oh my god, look. So it's just been really fun to see how the different products can work with the looms, and I'm just like over the top. You know, I adore you personally,
Same.
and to have a space now in my own shop too, where you know your brand is, it's just truly, I'm very grateful and I'm super excited about it. So
Yeah, I would say this is a very proud moment for me when we can have our different business logos in the same space. You know what I
I
mean? Like
know, I
that's
know.
that's truly the real connectivity
Yeah,
between two minds and two products that happened here. And I'm getting
yeah.
all emotional now.
I know.
But this truly
Don't.
is your baby.
I'm totally emotional this week. I will cry. So,
I will too.
oh my
But we're
gosh,
not here for a
seriously.
crying fest. We're here for like
No,
the laughter,
we are.
some giggles, and just learning and creativity and
Yeah.
fun. Maybe some tears of happiness down the road. But
Yes, absolutely.
until
Absolutely.
then,
Yes.
wait.
I'm trying to figure out, I got to go more like this. I'm falling off my chair. I'm falling out of the
And I
screen.
was actually
But
wondering if there were a way for me, because I know if I put in, I think I could do this. I have this camera too, so I
oh,
figured while you were teaching
ooh,
us, I can kind of replicate
okay.
something similar on my
Yeah.
space.
And I can just come down to the table right now and
Perfect.
yeah, so yeah, so I'm, you know, I'm a seafoam girl or go home, right? I love, love, love this color, as you well know, and I'm just gonna bring the one that I made in earlier. Basically, you know, you just thread the silver silk through the button if that's what you choose to use, and then I just anchor it on. This is a technique that we did last year, and you know, I mean, it even just goes right back into that. So super easy peasy. I know Joan posted a project with the silver silk. I do believe she was using the Wisdom Warrior, but she is definitely gonna, now that she's got the silver silk loom, she's gonna be doing that on that loom. And full disclaimer, please go easy on the fingernails because I have not had a chance to leave the house. So I'm so
Wait,
embarrassed, but it is what it is.
can you tell us
Oh, what do you
a
got
little bit
there?
about these charms and buttons that you have
Oh
on
my
your website?
gosh, so stinking cute. Yes. So that's the St. Patty's collection, and we've been having fun using them not only as charms on the bracelet, but the girls, Amber and Trisha, have taken and made earrings, which Trisha's husband, if I'm not mistaken, had named them beer rings because you know of the little beer there. So I know, so
Amazing.
cute. But they're a great size for earrings. They're a great size for your bracelet. And I know St. Patty's Day is today, but listen, you can wear this stuff any time of the year and have fun with it. And the button is super cool because it, you know, it's the whole "Kiss Me, I'm Irish," um, and who doesn't want random kisses
Well, and I wonder if
from
it's a
bulldogs, from
coincidence
Frenchies?
that it fits the silver silk chain so perfectly.
Well, again, who knew? I honest to goodness, you know, it's so stinking funny how like these things are done and they just marry your product so well. So it's meant to be,
I like
right?
to think of it as a you just have me in your mind all the time.
Oh, well, I do. You are a fave, my friend. So I Rosalinda's probably watching, I hope, and she'll but this is what I'm guessing she did. So you certainly could, if you wanted to use one of your three, and you correct me because I'm not, if I apologize if I don't refer to these things correctly, but I know this is a clasp and it has three connections here. So you could
Yeah,
do like
the
three
triple
pieces of,
strand end cap.
okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I knew it had a big fancy something. But anyway, so you could simply use the loom and have like say three pieces, right? And then
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end, you could just bring all these guys together, kiss them together, and put them in the clasp, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I think what you could also do is you could warp, do some traditional warping,
And warping is a
and
term. So we have a lot of
yeah,
folks here in the
newbies.
Silkies group that are new to looming,
Okay,
including myself. And I'm a little bit unprivy to
sure.
the terminology. So maybe you could
Okay,
walk us through real quick about the
one,
structure of the loom and then creating the first two
yeah.
warps.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's, well, then let's back up. let's back this buzz right back up. Let's come up. Okay. So the loom can be worked on in this, what I would say, up and down position, or it could be worked, whoopsie, in a position where it's, laying in this direction, right? It doesn't matter. You're going to get to the same place. So whatever feels comfortable for you. We'll refer to these pieces right here. These are the risers. And on the risers, there are grooves, right? So if you're familiar at all with the jewel loom, I have, that's plastic. There are grooves, and the grooves are what the warping material lays into. So whether it's Beadalon's Wildfire or Soft Flex's beading thread, and forgive me for not knowing that name, it's not coming to my head, but you can tell me because I know you probably know. SilverSilk or whatever product you might be using, that's going to lay into what we refer to as the grooves, right?
Yeah.
So these are all grooves. You might even call them teeth because they kind of look like teeth. But on the top of the SilverSilk loom, the grooves are smaller, so they accommodate. I don't have the proper sizing on this. You'll have to tell everybody, but it's the ball chain. So
yeah, the capture chain, which is roughly about 3 millimeter in diameter.
Okay, so then that also gives you an idea of like if you wanted to use the loom for something that thickness, then you could. Where if you turn it over, I mean, this is ginormous, right? So you could put a much thicker chain into these grooves. So yeah, have you tried that? Have you played around with which chain of yours might work in that?
You know what I'm thinking is if I took my hollow mesh and I filled it with either like some 3 or 4 millimeter beads first.
Whoa.
And then I could I mean, that would be really like heavy technicalities with how to construct it. But I think it'd be kind of cool. Like, I don't know what that would make, but you could make your own stringing material essentially with the hollow mesh. Or leather is always a great material too. If you wanted to take leather, like a 4 millimeter leather, and then maybe stitch some SilverSilk in between,
that's sexy.
I think that would be real. That would work well with these larger.
Yes, I
call
love
them
that idea.
Notches is what I've been calling them.
Notches, grooves. I mean,
grooves.
It's we've got a couple different. It was most simple on the original jewel loom to refer to grooves because really that's what they are. They're the grooves on the blue original loom. But as we started doing wood looms, they've kind of been referred to as grooves, teeth. But
cool.
and then the base is super, super solid. I mean, this loom is made extremely sturdy. So you're going to have a nice time working with it. It's not going to really have like a wiggle butt, because the plastic loom, definitely she's got like a little wiggle like her mama. But the wood loom, definitely different. So, but when I talk about the warps, let me just come back down. So I'm going to put this in front of me. Okay. And as you can see, here's my body, right? So I'm pointing towards my body. And the loom is in what I would refer to as this, up and down position. So when I say the top of the loom, it's furthest away from my body. And when I talk about the bottom of the loom, it's closest to my body. Now, a lot of people will work with it in this position. That's how I work with it typically. Although I have found myself lately kind of going sideways, and it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to get to wherever you're going, whether you work with it in this straight up and down position or whether you go side to side. Amber likes it straight up and down. Trisha likes it side to side, so like everybody has their own jam when it comes to like how they work with the loom. It's just comfort. So, and then the warps, okay, so there's two and a half terminologies, words, when we're talking about weaving. Your warps are the ones that go from top to bottom, right? So I'm warping. I'm taking the SilverSilk and I'm actually warping with it to create the base. I have little baby ears, and these things just don't like to stick in.
That's all right.
So yeah, so I'm just going to kind of, very carefully sandwich this down into the groove. And now I'm continuing with the warp. Okay. And so these are the ones that are going straight up and down on your loom.
So, quick question. Are you leaving a little bit at the top? So pretend like I didn't have a, well, I'll just take this button off real quick.
Yeah.
When I do my warp from top to bottom, and I'll make it go big on the screen here.
Okay.
Here's that. So I kind of gently press that down. And then this, do you wrap this around here, or do you just kind of go back with a little like loop at the end?
Oh, I was just leaving a loop because I'm again assuming that this is what Rosalinda did, and in my warping mind, it makes sense. Okay. So you're not skipping a groove. I skipped a groove because the beads I'm using are going to take up that space.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so that's the next part, right? So you have to know what size bead you're working with in order to know what how many grooves to skip. So if I skip this one groove, I'm working with a 9x6 gem cut check bead, and it nestles in there really nice. If I weren't to skip a groove, it looks like you could get a good, probably 5-6 millimeter fire polish in there.
Yeah, I was looking at these because they kind of caught my eye, and I'm wondering if I didn't skip a groove, which I think these are 5 millimeter
Let me see.
in size.
Oh, those are gem cuts?
Yeah.
Those look like 9x6s or 8x6s. But how does it look when you sneak it? Is it expanding the warp a little too much, or does it look like it would be just fine?
I think it's going to expand it just a smidge.
Okay.
But I won't know until I really get in there.
Yeah.
that's my
so
best
that's
guess.
how come. Yeah, that's how come I ended up skipping one groove.
Okay.
So that I could accommodate. Here, let me bring in my excuse me, my bead. So what ends up happening is I'm squeezing it a little bit because it is a little wider. What you could do is you could figure out, my guess is that as I look at this, you probably could sneak 2 8-0s in there. Like do an 8-0, like a Toho 8-0, and then a gem cut, and then a toe. So you can always fill up that space if you have a bead where you're just like, oh man, it's looking like maybe skipping 2 grooves is going to leave some space, and you could fill up that space with, it doesn't even have to be an 8-0 Toho. It could be a 3 millimeter fire polish, right? Because
that's a good idea to add a little extra, like something to your design, you have an excuse now to add more.
Yeah, that's how you use your leftovers, right? Or buy more beads.
Time to buy more beads. I like that. Is there ever a bad time for that?
I don't know, because I'm like living on top of beads right now.
I think we all do in some capacity.
Oh my gosh, totally. Totally do. So, but yeah, so so these are what's referred to as your warps. And so whether you're using the SilverSilk or any other type of product, beading thread, those are your warps. They go from the top to the bottom and back up. People will use the word weft a lot, and I usually stay away from that word, and I'll say weave, because it's a little bit more understandable to know that when you're weaving, that's the process where you're going from left to right, right? So you're actually building your bracelet. But people will refer to it, and the technical word is weft, W-E-F-T. So your warps are straight up and down, and your wefts are side to side. But I'll say weave. Yeah. So, but anyway, want me to come back down? So yeah. So yeah, so I just I've got 3 warps, right, with the SilverSilk. I'm just gonna bring that up to the camera.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a good
And
reason to also buy the 6 feet of SilverSilk. Yeah.
well, absolutely. And that was really my whole point in sharing the story about, because we always um you always have to do something first, right? To then figure out what you're
That's
doing and
true.
what, like your prototypes. It's all prototype stuff.
So
I'm
you're
gonna cut
doing
this. Whoopsie. What?
oh, real
Before I
quick.
cut.
Okay. Well, this is just before you cut it, though. Anyway, but I wanted to ask, what is a good length to start out with for a bracelet design? Is it going to be the 3-foot spool?
Yeah.
That
Well,
normally comes.
listen, my mode of forever in the way that I have taught has always been easy peasy pumpkin squeezy, right? So like I come from the Aline's creative living school of keep it simple, get people, teach so that they can expand and, don't make it too hard. So in my opinion, um, doing something like what I did last time where I'm threading the SilverSilk through, a button with 2 holes, and then I'm using the length of the loom. So 8 1/4 and 8 1/4 is 16 and a half. With some little extra, that's a little bit over a foot. So 2 feet, and your minimum is 3 feet.
Hmm.
So yeah,
You can make
3
some
yards
matching
to start.
earrings once you do your bracelet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so three yards to start, and then this bracelet, actually that I just did with the sword, um, only took one strand of the beads. So it really does depend on like your wrist size. So you might want to get 2 strands for giggles because you're going to need matching earrings. So
Of course. Of course.
you could
Yes.
do that, right? So I would say that this is the most easy peasy pumpkin squeezy technique, and I'm more than happy to just do that if you like. I could do whatever you want.
Oh, no, that's perfect for an
Okay.
explanation.
Yeah.
I liked all of it. It's good.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure how much
So
would be like the gateway amount to like start, and I think that's a great way to
well,
approach it.
and let's do this. Let's take this off for giggles. And this can't be more than, yeah, we're still under, right? We're still under 3
Yes.
yards. Hold on. Let's see what this is.
Well, 3 feet, right?
3 feet. Sorry. 3 feet. 3 feet. 3 feet.
3
Okay.
feet.
Let me go from here. Okay. This piece is, just shy. It's like almost 33 inches.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So if you're going to do a 3 warps with
Mhm.
2 beads, a cuff, you're going to need your 3 prongies, right? You're going to need your clasps that have the 3
The triple strand end
connectors,
cap. Yes.
that beautiful thing, and 36 inches of, yep, yeah.
Perfect.
So if you buy, so what's the next thing? 6 yards?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you buy 6 yards, then you can make
6 feet, not 6
many. You 6 feet. So why am I all screwed up? 6 feet is 2 yards, right?
Yes. Yeah.
My God, I'm usually
I
the
mean, you
math
can buy
killer.
6 yards, but
Yeah, but you don't have to, right?
you don't
I
have
guess
to.
whatever, but you should.
But you should. Maybe you
Oh
are
God.
advertising it for me, so I should just shush myself here.
Oh, I'm just trying to be practical in the sense of like, lo and behold, you're gonna go through your first yard and be like, right? So
Yeah, and then it's
I
just
should
like,
I should
man, I used that up too quick. I wanna do
yeah,
it again, and then you
I
gotta
wanna
have
do
the
it again.
additional, like, 4 or 5 yards.
Yes, yes, yes.
Alrighty, okay, so
Okay, so I'm coming back down.
I think I'm ready to, like, cut stuff, right? Because that's where you were about to
Yeah,
show us.
so I'm just kind of leaving like a little tail up here because my thought is that, well, I'm basically going to be, you know, creating my bracelet in the middle here. I have a 6-inch wrist, by the way.
Okay.
You know, my intention, in fact, I'm just going to process some thoughts really quick here. I need a visual. Okay, so I want to leave enough length up here at the top because I'm going to have these 3 guys ultimately that need to come together and kiss. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got this guy that's got to come here. You got this guy that's got to come here. And then you got this guy. So you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't want to leave like a little peekaboo amount, you know, because it's not going to be long enough to cross over and
Yes.
get into that. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to break out the measuring tape here. And let's see what this actually is. This looks like it might be, yeah, it's an inch.
Okay, so
Okay.
leaving an inch at the
Yep.
top.
Yep. So
is the
leaving an
magic
inch.
number.
Yep. Leave an inch at the top. And I seriously, sewing tape measures are like, I love them. I can't get enough of it. All right. So I am going to, I'm going to pull the SilverSilk a wee bit, but not super taut like we do when we're using a beading thread. Because again, you know, it really marries very nicely into the groove and it keeps a very nice warp. So we don't have to pull really tight like we do in normal looming. So just the FYI. And then I'm going to turn, and I'm eyeballing it, but it does feel like that's an inch. Just keeping in mind that unless you have an 8¼ inch long wrist, you know, this is going to be extra down here. So then you might actually have to bring your ends up. So in my case, I know, okay, let me do a visual. Okay, I don't want to lose you. So in my case, you see, I have a 6-inch wrist. Okay.
Oh, I see. So you wouldn't have
see
to
what I mean?
weave all
I
the way
wouldn't
to
have
the
to wait.
end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have to leave an extra inch here because that's just going to get wasted and we don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it and kiss it up to the
Gotcha.
grooves.
That's
Because
a good
I'm
idea.
going to have enough down here to put the clasp on. Okay, now I got way too much stuff on my desk. Hold on. Okay, so, whoa. All right, so we're coming back up. And in this case, I am going to leave an inch loop because I know I have to cut that now, right? I'm going to cut that in half. And now all 3 of these guys have to come over and marry each other to get into that clasp.
Perfect.
Okay. So
I'm just kind of like 2 on mine. I think
what?
that way we both have something different.
Wait, oh, you want to do something different?
No. I'm saying like I'm just gonna do 2 warps on mine.
Oh yes, you're
That
gonna do a
way,
single.
like we see one with 3, and then what we see like because this is technically actually my first. Well, this is my first loom project, especially on the SilverSilk.
Yeah. Then go easy peasy pumpkin squeezy.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna tuck that excess in there. I'm gonna clean up this situation.
I hear you. I got all my tools out too, and it's a little crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I was like catching my chair earlier, and it was so funny. All right.
I do have this leather cord that I almost was thinking about adding, and then I was like, no, let's just dial it back some, because if it's my first one,
yeah,
I think, you know, and if you did use 2 different cordings, just if they're about the same size in the 3mm size, you can still use a triple strand end cap.
Okay.
They really moved it crazy. Not today, though, for me at least.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's birthed because I know all the girls are already talking in my group, and I just can't wait. So it's going to be really exciting to see what you and we all create, because I'm thrilled about this cuff-like thing. I'm sorry about this extension cord. That's so gross. But you know, I had to seriously, I'm freaking the freak out. I don't even know what to do. But I had to reset up because I'm not on the interwebs. I'm like feeding off of my phone. And so I apologize for that, because I don't know. I'm just being a total geek right
Oh
now.
no, you are good. You are
As
just
my forever friend says, you're such a dork. I'm like,
No,
you're
you're doing
literally the
great.
only person that can call me that and still be my bestie. So okay, so
Yeah.
anyway, okay, where are you? What do you want? You ready?
Oh. So I'm ready to like weave some beads on, but
Yeah,
I'm not
let's
sure
do it.
my next steps here.
All right, so I've got a little over a yard or so of some wildfire cut, and they're
Ooh,
green, and it matches your sea foam really beautifully.
that's
And
excellent.
so,
I'm
you
gonna use
know,
it.
again, whatever your beading thread of choice might be, I'm, you know, wildfire girl. But you know, whatever works. I'm down with that. So I'm going to take the end. Let me come back down. Sorry. I'm going to take the end of the beading thread. And again, so let me just get my body repositioned here, you guys. Okay, so I've got the loom in front of me. Again, this up here is furthest away from my body. This part is closest to my body. Okay, and I'm going to be beading all the way up to the top of the loom here. So I'm going to take the end of my beading thread, and I'm just going to make a little knot. And yeah, and I like to leave a little bit of a tail, like maybe 4 inches, so that I can knot it again and hide it. Okay, so I'm going to take the needle. Now I'm using the Jewel Loom needles, which, by the way, did you know this? I added a free pack of Jewel Loom needles to your loom. So when they buy
You
your loom,
did?
uh-huh.
Oh, you must love the silkies, because that's going to be amazing for them to have. I
Yes.
appreciate
Well,
that
they
so
need it.
much.
Yes, they
Thank
need it.
you.
So I added it, and now I'm going back down. Okay.
So, okay,
All right.
quick question for you.
Where are you
You
at?
just directly tied it around. You haven't sewn anything through anything, right? You just tied it around one
No,
of the silver silk
I
cords?
just tied it right here. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it is, and Lord correct, you know, somebody correct me if I am wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, gosh, I hate to even say this. I'm just going to say that there is a designer that has a technique. I want to say it's Danielle, but I could totally be wrong in the way that she starts her project. There's a couple people who start it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I, you know, and I do as well. But in this situation, just tying it to the chain is just fine.
Okay.
So,
That's
okay,
exactly what I did. So, pan over to you
awesome
again.
sauce. Okay, so again, loom is in front of me. All right, I've got the needle and thread in my left hand. So this is my left hand right here. Okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to come under the warps. Remember, the warps are going straight up and down, and they are the chain. So I take the needle and thread, it's coming under the warps, and it's transferring over into my right hand.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to bring all that thread over and the needle.
Let's do this.
Yep, beautiful. If I'm looking, yep, it looks like you got it right. Yep.
Okay. So there's nothing sewn into anything. It just literally is going underneath the work.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm looking at this wrong, Nealay, but if the loom is in front of you, did you tie to the far left chain, the
Yes.
very first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looked like it was on the next one. Okay, so now I have I have a variety of beads here, and so I am now going to, let me put these in the camera. Come on over, buddies. Whoop, there we go. So I literally am just going to grab 2 beads. Okay, you're going to grab 1 because you have 2 warps, so it's 1 more warp than it is beads. I have 3, so I'm going to pick up 2 of these beads. Now, I definitely have some room in here. I could have definitely added, or I'm just going to pinch all this together. Now,
Today's
the
a good day
first
for
row,
pinching.
the first row is always a little wonkadoodle, okay? It's always just that Thumbelina moment where you're like, oh my gosh, come on now. I'm literally working close up to the teeth, and so I'm holding the beads up in between the warps. And I'm taking my needle and thread now, and I'm going back through the beads, but I'm gliding on top of the warps, and I'm going to bring this into the camera. Hold on.
Jules, real quick,
Yep.
can you tell us which needle you're using for?
This is a jewel. It's a jewel loom needle.
A jewel loom needle. Okay. I think you said that earlier. I
Yes,
just want
they're
to make
the
sure.
big ones.
Okay.
Nope, that's
Perfect.
okay. I only use jewel loom needles. I
Got it.
can't get my fingers to squeeze. Listen, I'm going to say that because they are hugely popular and fabulous, but by all means, if you needed to use a different type of needle, a size 12 is pretty basic, right? So it's called a size 12, but it's going to be short, all right? So if you have any issues with your hands, that's why I love the big jewel loom needle. It's like 3 inches long, and
Ooh,
it's a
that's
beautiful
good.
thing.
Yeah, and
but
especially if you're
yeah,
using the entire loom across, I mean, you maybe that's probably not 3
yeah,
inches, but it
it's
would be
two and a
handy to
quarter.
have something like that.
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to come back down, and then you tell me. I'll wait till you get done there. But that looks beautiful. You could scooch that all the way up to the top. Scooch that bead all the way up to, so it's
Oh
kissing up
yeah?
to the
I guess
grooves.
I guess
Yep.
I should have. I'm wondering if I can
Yep.
use this loop later on for part of my clasp though.
You want, if yes, so I see where you're going. So maybe like have that as the extra length versus the other end. How big is your
Yeah,
wrist?
maybe. Or I could just always use a double strand end cap at the ends here, and then I'd
Okay,
have
you
enough to
got
cut
big
off
birds.
and
You do that. I want to see you when you do that. So I've got my needle and thread, and I went through the beads, and I'm on top of the warps. What happens if you're not on top of the warps? The beads will fall off. Okay. So, all right. So we want to squeeze this together a little because I've got a little extra space. And now I'm going to coming back under the warps, and I'm grabbing 2 more beads. Going back through the beads, the needle and thread are on top of the warps. I'm getting caught on everything here. And each time I'm pulling so that they're all nice and snug. Yeah, I definitely could have used another bead in here. And you just continue this process until the bracelet is the length that you need for your wrist size.
this was definitely a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. I didn't know if I needed like 2 needles or 6 needles to like get this done, and
Oh
I'm just
my
using the
gosh.
one.
That was so
And
cute.
I must say I'm quite relieved and excited about this.
Yeah, it's so calming. I was on the other night, like at, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, my time. And I was like, I gotta weave, man. So I just like did a quick YouTube live and made a bracelet in 53 minutes, I think it was. So
Wow.
once you get your rhythm down, this style is very simple to make. One of the things I would like to try, and I might try it on this one, is to add like a little picot stitch on the
That's a good
edges.
idea.
Yeah, just for some extra fabulosity.
Of course. Bring on the sparkles.
Yes. So I'm not going through the chain. I'm going on top of the chain in case that question is in somebody's mind.
I know. I feel
And
like I
I
should
am
be
pulling.
monitoring more, but I'm just so excited about making this.
That's what happens. That's what
Jamie has a
happens.
question. Should we
Um,
be weaving through the bead holes, but not through the silver silk warp at any
yeah,
point? And I believe you just answered that question.
I did.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a deal breaker, and I will tell you that people from the last show that we did together, there were people that were actually going through the chain and then through the bead hole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel like there was a difference. If your beading thread is coordinated, then it's not really going to be a deal breaker for your design. You're not going to like see it. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's a do or die or do or don't. You know what I mean?
And I wonder because I feel like I could have a back and a front to this bracelet. So if I, for example, and this is probably
Oh.
going to be one of those bracelets that I kind of take apart, but then we'll probably reconstruct with, no
Yeah.
camera on me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this instance, I just wove it directly through the silver silk, so it disappears on the
Sure.
front side. But then
Sure.
on the back, I can kind of cheat probably and just take the thread around to the back,
Mhm.
string on,
Ooh,
string on my
that's
beads
pretty.
or bead, and then just sew directly through the silver silk so that the thread again just kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And
I
I
don't
wonder if
really
that's something that folks out there might
yeah,
also consider as part of their design. If they wanted to hide the thread a little bit, maybe it's not a bad
sure.
idea.
Yeah. Well, I love what Rosalinda did. She basically kind of gave attention to both products, right? So she did her piece so that it was centered. So there's a lot of silver silk showing on each end, and then she
Mm,
focused on the middle of the bracelet.
yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like she used fibers to weave with and beads, which is super cool.
She's on here, so she might pop in and say, I just thought
Yes,
it was a beautiful design too. And Joan has
I know. I
also
was,
posted some
yes,
stuff. She
yes.
actually made me a hat band for my cowboy hat that she also
Oh,
gifted me.
yeah. I didn't,
And
you
it's
know
a
what? I
beautiful
don't know if
hat
I got to
band.
see the finished. Yeah, I don't
No,
know if
I
I got
could
to
I
see
could
the final
probably take a
one.
break here and go get it after a while.
Yeah, I think she made that on the Wisdom Warrior for you.
So I'm kind of actually liking this look, even though I feel like I'm cheating, of
Cheating.
stitching it through the silver silk and just
Yeah,
kind of
I don't think there's a problem with that.
feel like it's a good workaround too. So there's so many ways to do
Yeah,
this,
yeah, and
but
nothing
the
is wrong.
weaving
Like,
is
I think it's what you, yeah.
mhm.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the weaving concept is kind of the same though, as far
Yeah.
as how this works and is put together.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have your warps and you have your wefts, right? And then
Mhm.
it's just the product that you're using to make the different looks. I could use seed beads on here for sure.
Mhm.
It might be a little, 11 O's might be a little challenging because the chain is, bigger, but I'm always up for a challenge. But this is going to be gorgeous. I'm just like, I love to stack my bracelets. So it's always fun to kind of have this one sparkly piece and then, I'll wear one of my pieces where I've sewn all the loops onto it. And actually, I'm thinking this might be interesting with the one I made for St. Patty's. I'm going to have to bring that over and see.
I'm gonna flash it over to you. Can you hold it up to the camera?
Yeah, let me do this one more.
Okay.
Let me finish this move here. Whoops. Okay. All right, here I come. And I wonder if I tilt up. Let's see. Isn't that great?
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
And
because the beads
really
are
like,
so like there's
mhm,
so much variation within the beads, it really does look like you're using an
yeah.
entire like different mix of check glass when it's just like the one strand, right?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling from 2 strands,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm using the 1 strand most. But they seem to complement each
That
other.
is so that's gonna look so gorgeous. I
Yeah.
love that so much.
Yeah, I'm totally in. Totally.
Love it, love
I
it.
love it. Yes. So, how are you doing? Oh, let me
I
come back down.
am rocking and rolling actually. Like I feel like this
Yeah.
doesn't have to be bracelets. So something that I was thinking is it would be
Mhm.
cool to do like a little short pendant
Yep,
that's
for
woven, kind
sure.
of like what we did with our
Yep.
silkies
Yes.
workshop a while
Yes.
ago, which you cleverly created a little badge for our group, the Silver Silk
Yes.
Silkies, which you could still find in your store
Yes.
for
It's
my Silkies
still
watching and that they
yes.
want one.
Yep, they're
Um,
still there.
and you used fiber for that one,
Yes.
I think, or we kind of
We used
experimented.
we wove with the fibers, but we used the chain for the necklace part because I can't remember the grooves off the top of my head how big those were. So I'm going to check the length on this and see where I'm at. Whoops. Sometimes it likes to get caught on the teeth there, so you gotta. All right, I'm going to bring in this bracelet. Okay, so I got one more row to do. Whoops.
I wonder how this would work with pipe chain, I think is my next thought process.
Mm.
So you guys are gonna have to experiment. Now remember, pipe chain is
Yes.
one of those that like you can pass any sort of stringing material through the chain because it's a rubber silicone tubing that's got the knitted
Yeah.
wire over it. So if you did like some
Um,
sort of a more structured cuff with the craft wire and then kind of like if you wove maybe over it before and then you could fill whatever you want inside of the tubing to shape it. That might be kind of
yeah,
cool.
very cool. Very cool. So I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to go ahead and cut myself off of here.
Okay, so you're at the finishing stages. If I need to stop
Yes.
gabbing and get to work here. I want a
Well, what
bracelet.
I want to I know what I want to show is okay, so let me get back into position. So that was my last row, okay? That was my last row.
Mm-hmm.
And the loom, I'm going to scooch some things over here. The loom is still in front of me. This is the top, this is the bottom closest to my body. What I like to do, and I did fail to do it when we started, but I'm going to correct that. I like to, with the first row and the last row, when I'm starting or finished, right? I come over here and now I'm going to take the needle and thread and go under the warps, back through those beads. And this just gives a little extra lock in for that last and first
Mm-hmm.
row. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the under over again. Okay. And then I just going to come back through the top here. And you certainly don't have to, but if you wanted to, especially if you had a lot of excess thread, you could go back through all the rows, but you don't have to. Sometimes I do that if I'm working on a piece that has a lot of weight to it. I will
Mm-hmm.
go back and secure, and those are more of the pieces that maybe you've seen me do where they're like go big or go home pieces. They've got the loops and all of that, and I'll weave back through the base just for giggles for like extra security. I'm not feeling like this bracelet needs that, so I'm going to weave back through a little bit and then tie off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with what your thought
yeah,
process for that is. It just depends on the weight of the beads, what it's if it's
yeah,
supporting anything, then you definitely need to go back and really secure those threads. But I think in this
yeah,
case, because this is such a small um, piece of jewelry almost that
yeah. It's
will be
not
all
really
right.
all that heavy. So
Yeah.
actually, what I am gonna do. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. I'm gonna bring this up to the camera really quick. So my needle, I just put it back through that first bead right there. That was on the right hand side of me. And I went through it, but I came out in between the first and the second bead. And that's how I'm going to create my knot and have it disappear.
Mm.
So my needle is out here in the middle, and I'm going to come under, hopefully without poking myself. It's a little challenging. Let's see. I got to get positioned correctly here. Okay, let's go under. Ooh, I don't know if I can get my needle to bend. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I tell you what, flat nose pliers are like your third hand. They're so awesome to have on
Oh yeah,
hand.
they definitely have saved the
Oh
day multiple times
gosh,
for me.
multiple times. And then I'm just creating a knot there in the middle. And I'm going to take the needle, pull it to the back so that when I cut it off, okay. So like I mentioned, I didn't do that on the top row, so I'm going to go back and correct myself. And let's see, I do have enough thread on here, so that's good news. I'm going to come from the left. And all I'm doing is double upping on this. Is that even the terminology? I'm going
Sure.
to come over.
Double upping.
I'm double
Probably
upping.
something that I would say for
It
sure.
sounds like like a Vegas term. I don't know. I'm gonna. So silly. Okay, now it's super tight up here, so I'm gonna have to peek in here and try to find the bead hole. Oh my goodness. Where are you? Thank you. Thank you. Nope, you're still not there. Oh, this is so funny. I see you.
It gives me a little time to
There we go.
complete this too, because I really am digging what this is looking like.
Okay. Well, if you want, put you up on screen and let me try to figure out how I can get this back in here because
And
it's
show folks my
not very.
progress here.
Yes, because. All right. Yeah. Perfect. Let's see now. Oh, that's beautiful. What colors are you working with? It's hard for me to see.
Well, I've got a mishmash of things, right? So I've got these beads from Sam's Beads in his anniversary box, actually. So this is a
They look
Sandy
gorgeous.
Beach mix.
Uh-huh.
And I would say that's like right up, those words are right up your alley. Because got the beach, the ocean, everything.
Yeah. Oh, oh, really?
And
I thought they
then,
were like black. Looks like a little bit midnight. They look kind of midnightish
Oh yeah, maybe once I
from
mix it
the
in with the
screen.
pearlesque chain,
Yeah.
but I'm using a hematite pearlesque chain.
Okay, that's what it is. Very beautiful. It's a gorgeous color
Thank
combination.
you. I would absolutely wear this 100%. In fact, I think that's really like that's probably subconsciously why I was picking out these things tonight because I was like,
Right?
what can I make that I think would appease my personal tastes? And I'm
Oh,
going to learn something from Jules tonight. So for me, it's a win-win.
good. All is well in the creative land. Nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt. We
Everybody's
created a tool child together, and we're sharing it now with the world. So
Oh
I feel
my
like everything is
God.
perfect.
It is. It's just perfect.
I will
I'm
say
gonna
that I
move
think I'm
you over
gonna
here.
undo those and then kind of finish it out toward the end because I think I can get it to where I can have this all even.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit of a tight thread space there, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I can work with that. Okay, I'm gonna undo this.
Whoa.
And you just let me know whenever you're
Yeah.
you're ready to start explaining, to do some splaining.
Okay. Okay, so I do believe that I'm going to pop. Okay, here I come. All right. Yep. Whenever you're ready, you can come back.
Okay.
Awesome. So, yeah. All right. So this is, let's see, this is done. And now I'm going to take it off of the SilverSilk loom. So I'm just going to very carefully pop that off. So cool. Oh my God, it's
Wow.
so stoked. Okay, hold on. I know, right? And we did that in an hour.
We did,
So,
well, probably less than,
just at
because if
this
we weren't
point.
gabbing away,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my God, this is so gorgeous.
I am in love with it. That's why I'm just
Yes,
dying to
I
get mine
can't.
done, because I'm like, just like screaming like a kid on the inside.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, because I need three guys. I need three prongs here. So I'm gonna cut this loop in half. And I want them to be the same length. So, oh my gosh, Marlon Brando's outside of the door scratching.
You want some attention.
He's like, let me
It's
in.
adorable.
Okay, let's see. I don't want to cut too much. So I'm going to bring these guys in. I wonder, so tell me something. Are you supposed to open this more, or is the idea that you get the clasp the way that it is and that you stick the ends in here?
I'm glad you actually asked, because I think I'm at a point where I can crimp this and add in all this stuff. I can secure my threads after I've crimped and done all this stuff too. So I'm going to leave the thread the way it is. And I think I'm going to go ahead and, oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Oh my God, you scared me.
That is so pretty. Okay. So let me pan over to my camera, and I'll show you quickly how to crimp it,
do
and
that, because I
then we
always
can
have
go
a
back
hard
to yours
time
maybe.
with the, yes, please.
Okay, so let me grab some crimps from up here, and these are my double strand end caps. I'm gonna turn on some lighting too.
That is like the best color. I love that. So sexy.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, the hematite is gonna go well with the dark rhodium end caps. So what I do is I grab a couple different pliers to apply these. Three specifically. So I'm going to need my cutters to cut the SilverSilk.
Okay.
I'm going to need a pair of either some chain nose pliers or some really tapered chain nose pliers. In this case, you can see how really thin these are.
Okay.
You're going to need those. And then a pair of wide nose pliers that have been, I dipped mine in Tool Magic, which is a type of substrate that you can, well, it's not really a substrate, I guess, but it's a type of material that you can dip your pliers into, the heads of your pliers, and it creates a rubberized coating on the tip of it once it dries after 24 hours. So
sounds very cool.
Yeah, and they're great to grip the end cap, but process-wise, let's do this. You're gonna grab your end cap, and I'm gonna use my either chain nose pliers or my really tapered chain nose pliers to go up into the channel and just open them up a little bit more. You don't need to do it too much or go too crazy. Just like a millimeter does a world of difference. And sometimes they might be open enough to where it just pops in pretty amazingly. Like the chain will just fit in perfectly. And sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to both ends actually. Here. So it looks pretty good. And then when you are ready to secure, I would encourage leaving for what looks like to me instinctually, like I would leave probably about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch above the bead of extra chain and then add on just a smidge more. So right there,
Okay.
and then maybe like another 1/4 inch, right? So maybe about that much.
Yeah,
And
it's a little different when you're putting these 3 guys together. I haven't quite figured out if it's too much. I might trim this one down a little bit. Okay.
yeah, and the more you have, I would say don't worry because I'm going to teach you a quick little trick to gather everything. All you need
Ooh.
is some craft wire. I can grab some quick enough here. This will work. And you can either work off of the spool or you can just like use some of your scraps. In this case, I'm just gonna pretend like we have a scrap of 20 gauge wire handy. What I'm gonna do is
Imagine
actually
that.
bend one end like that. And you can actually string all 3 of your chains together in a sequence. And then what you can do is use that as your way of keeping it all organized as you
Oh, so
place it
clever.
into the end cap
All
so
right,
that
now
it
I
doesn't
gotta
slip and
find a
slide.
piece. I happen to have wire.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Heaps of it, probably. I'm gonna trim
Heaps.
this down just
Okay,
a smidge more.
let's see. And you use 22,
You can use 22 gauge, yes.
and that's gonna come out, right?
That's what does that mean?
Of course. It's not gonna, we're not leaving it in there.
Oh, correct. Yeah, yeah, you just slide it
Yeah,
out after
it's
you're done
just a
trimming.
it's just a second tool. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Got some beautiful purple. Ah. So you're just puncturing it through.
Yes, yeah. It should just go inside of the knits and out the other side. You could use a needle if you have that, but like I like to create the little bend because it really does give a
Yeah.
area to where you can't really like push it back anymore, and so it kind of keeps everything nice and aligned. So it's just like a nice
Yeah,
alignment
no, it's
tool.
super clever.
Took me a while to figure that trick out though, but once I did, I was like, I could teach this to people and they would have less of a heartache time using those triple
Right.
strand end caps.
Yeah, I still think one of my ends is a little long. Well, I'm not left-handed. Why am I trying to do it that way?
So once you get them into the channels, you just squeeze it with your chain nose or your, in this case, with my wide flat nose pliers. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't require any glue and there's no additional
Right.
work needed to attach those end caps in. You do want to make sure that your logos are face up because it's only the one side that has
Right.
stamping on it. But otherwise,
Yeah, I
like
did notice that.
that's about the only technical detail.
Ow. Ow.
Man, look at the shimmer on that.
Oh my gosh. What? That is so amazing.
I love
So
it.
stinking amazing.
This is a terrible addiction that I'm about to get into. I was already addicted to jewelry making, and then I hadn't gotten to use this tool until
I know.
now, and then, like, I can make this with it? That's just insane.
That is wow. That piece is so pretty. Okay, I'm struggling a little bit over here.
They pan over too quickly at your I guess I could spend some time, showing how to
Yeah.
end how I would end maybe the thread, because I have it
Okay.
going through the SilverSilk, but what I think I can do is just sew it into the SilverSilk again and again. So make a little loop here,
I think
and
that
I'm
might.
just gonna go through the loop, Gonna secure it there and sew it back through. This is not too different from how some of our guest designers that have come on to SilverSilk with bead weaving have done with their needle and thread. Of course, the fabulous Miss Danielle Wicks, we got, and Cassandra Spicer as well, who've given us some really great tips on how they ended their thread.
Nice. Okay, I am not having, what am I doing wrong? I definitely need a course on adding class. This guy.
Oh no, is a triple strand being a little crazy?
Well, I mean, you do have a lot to control here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you could, if to make it easier, I suppose you could use just a series of single strand end caps and connect them all with a jump ring. That's a possibility.
that would be sexy. Oh, yeah, come on, babies. Now I gotta open it back up. Okay. Maybe I should try the other end.
Good.
Rosalinda, I know right now, is like on the other end of the string going, Jules, blah, 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 blah. And she has the answer for me.
She has the
answer for me, but I can't hear her. And I'm going to be like, oh, man. That's exactly what I didn't think.
People are loving your bracelet, though. I'm getting a lot of comments with beautiful, good job, loving the style.
Nice.
Some good stuff out there.
Nice. Good. Oh, gosh, I think I have connection. Holy guacamole. Awesome sauce. Yes. Yes, mama. Woo! All right.
I love it. So you got it to the crimp?
I'm good. I got it in. I needed to open it more. That's the problem. I needed to open it more. That's all. Yeah.
Right.
It was just a little fumbleina. And for me, but now that I realized I need to open the channels a little more, it's like perfection. Holy God. I think I did good.
Open the channels. The possibilities are endless.
Let's see. I don't know where. Am I even on? Where am I at? There we go. Oh my gosh, Nee. That's so, so beautiful.
I'm just beside myself with this one.
Okay, now I gotta do the other.
Okay, wait. Yeah, did you want to show yours? Gotta see it.
I'll show you how you can tell me if it's good. I think it's good.
Perfect. That is exactly the look we're going for. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No wonder you said
it had to be more open. That was the thing. It was not open enough. So I gotta do the other end. So
now I'm sure the question that's weighing on people's minds right now is, will Nealay pull through and have a clasp? And the answer to that is, I'm going to prevail.
Wait, if you're gonna have a clasp for what? Clasp or clasp?
I don't have a clasp on hand for any of my jewelry pieces that I make during my lives. Funny. And I think we're really gonna change the game here.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have a clasp.
Okay, so I've got to measure to see where this should be.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Isn't it gorge? Oh my gosh, I can't even.
Yes. Amazing.
It's really, really pretty. So I think it's going to be just like it was on the other side here. So I'm just going to trim these guys. Sorry, guys. Let me bring you down. Whoa. I might need new glasses. Oh my God. Yeah, this was much, much, much easier now because I opened this up a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just didn't have it open. I was trying to, uh-oh, now I lost a leg. All right, Chihuahua. Cracking myself up over here. Oh, I got to really open it up.
All right.
You could go back to you if you want. I've got to open this up and get
Well,
the other
I
one in.
did finish my little bracelet there with a clasp, although I think I'm going to need a friend to help me put it on because it's just perfect for my wrist, but not loose enough for me to do it myself. But I'm saying, like,
Gotcha.
the pearlesque chain really is a game changer of how much shimmer you want to add to your design. Such beautiful stuff. And overall, I am impressed with how easy to use this thing is. I can't wait to use it for other stuff down the road.
Yeah, is your mind turning?
Huh?
I feel like I'm over here. I said, is your mind
Yes, it is, with lots of ideas, because I kind of want to do a little like a rectangular pendant on it next with some like tassels or something at the end. I think that would look so cool.
Yes. Yeah, the tassel idea is great.
All right, so I'm gonna scroll to see if anyone had any questions.
So all I have to do now is add a thingy.
Ooh, a clasp. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I just have to add like a lobster or something.
Beautiful. You know what though, despite all of the extra work that the triple strand caps like brought to the design, I will say it cleans it up very nicely at the ends.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, it's worth it. I just have to better, like I don't work with them every single day, so that's all. But they're like the bomb. I mean, that just is like so cool to know that. I mean, it's crazy. Watch, where's my one I made the other night?
It's so perfect. It elevates it really, really nicely.
So I did this one on the YouTubes the other night
Mm-hmm.
with the fire polish, and this is not SilverSilk, but my point is how amazing all this looks together.
Yes. All of the stackable bracelets. I love it.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And that's got the kiss me, I'm Irish. Oh my God.
Okay.
We did it. We did
it. We created stuff on our loom, and I didn't see any major questions. So people are so impressed. I'm curious to see what folks are going to make with their loom as they have it shipped in. I know you mentioned, some folks having it already, and they're able to start creating.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, if you guys do have any more questions, you can reach Jewels at various places. All the social medias.
Yes, right. So the YouTube channel is Jewel Loom, and the Facebook is Jewel Loom. The Facebook group is Jewelry Making with Jewel Loom, and the shop is jewelloom.com. The school is jewelloomschool.com, which there's a lot of courses and what have you, but it's also where I house how to use the different looms that I sell. So So we'll definitely get a how to, maybe even just a link back to this so that people can find that. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's either Juliana Avelar or Jewel Loom. So, and I'm on the TikToks
Yes.
as
And
well.
then you've got jewelloom.com if they want to
JewelLoom.com.
purchase any of the
Yes, that's
looms, including
yes,
this one, of
yes,
course.
yes. And I know you have a direct link to that too. So I'm
Yes.
sure
So
Joan's
in
got that
my
up.
website, I added a new button called SilverSilk Education. And in
Uh,
there, you have a few different resources that exist. And the Jewel Loom is going to make a beautiful addition. It's like a little library, and you've got yourself a little book in it.
okay. Very, very cool. So what I
Hmm.
did on my site was I actually, if you look at the menu, it says Silver Silk
So, ooh,
to make it easy peasy pumpkin squeezy, right? Just
perfect.
Silver Silk. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
the phrasing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Perfect. Cool.
that way everybody gets, I feel like, if you teach to where everybody can accomplish something, then they can grow into all of the other big things and
Oh
whatever they're
yeah, no,
comfortable
this I
with.
think
Yeah.
this loom is going to be a gateway for those of us that never have really experienced it much, and it gets quite addicting. Even with just
Yes.
finishing the one, and my brain is just spinning with ideas. So I'm excited to
I know
continue to
it's so
work on
gorgeous.
this. I will be
So
doing
gorgeous.
future formal tutorials on this loom
Yes.
as well for the YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can reach myself at different places as well. I'm on a few different social medias. Maybe not the TikTok like Jules is, because I'm not a star. But you can get me on Instagram as well as
Yeah.
Facebook, and of course the YouTube channel. We hope that you'll subscribe to each of our channels respectively.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
you can grab the Silver Silk from silversilkonline.com. Jules, do we have anything else that we want to share?
Um, gosh. I don't know. Are we taking baby gifts?
Hmm. Do we have a registry for this?
Are we? I know. Are we registered? No. You know what? I that would be so funny. Oh my gosh, somebody's bound to register us.
I know,
Um,
or yeah,
I
someone.
just am so grateful. I'm grateful that you for the collaboration. I love you dearly. I think, I love your entrepreneurial spirit, your designer spirit. Um, and I love working with you. So I hope that we can come back and continue to educate both of our beautiful communities that intertwine and that weave together.
Oh,
And
yes,
so, yeah,
absolutely. And there's something to
yeah,
be said about the fiber plus the wire, because that's how I've sort of described
yeah,
the knitted wire, is it's a woven material essentially.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
And
it
so
is.
it's just funny how those two things can kind of create the same meaning, right? We're both weaving our community and making it intricate and beautiful, as I've said
Yes,
in some of my Silver
yes,
Silk stuff. So thank
yes.
you. It's
Oh,
just been a
thank you.
pleasure working with you as well. We are going to do so much
Total
more stuff
pleasure.
together, of course, down the road.
Absolutely.
And you are just a shining star that I somehow have been lucky in life to I don't know, to be able to come into this virtual world together. And um, I think I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful and I'm blessed. And we're going to continue to make more babies together.
Oh
Don't
my
cry because
God.
you're going to get me
I know.
started.
I'm crying and I'm laughing. And I'm just like, I feel the same way. And it's such good stuff. And, for me, the biggest blessing every morning, you wake up and I know you do this or have this experience too. You wake up and someone's made something with what you've created. And that is like the biggest gift ever, ever. And so then, you get this opportunity to do it with your friend and your people who, like yourself, and it's just really a blessing.
Absolutely. It's definitely been a multi like funneling of energy and good vibes and stuff, and or I guess siphoning maybe, because like we all
So
absorb it and then we give it back to the world in such the best
yes,
way ever.
it's the best. Yeah, it's the
So
best thing.
I can't think of a better way than just to keep the magic going. So when you guys get a
Absolutely.
chance, please do post your designs to each of our
Yes.
groups, and
Yes.
we'll just keep the magic alive until the next time that we meet again.
Yes, for sure. For sure. For sure. Thank you, Nealay.
All right. Well, see you guys next time out there. You can catch my tutorials on YouTube every other Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, and then again for a Facebook Live roundup at 5 p.m. in the evening time. And until the next tutorial, I guess I'll just hope you're inspired to create and that you just have a very, very amazing week ahead of you. And I'll see you guys next time at the next tutorial.
Thank you. Love you. Love you.